Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to sit down and chat with you guys. I've kind of been MIA on this channel for a little bit, a few weeks, but I wanted to let you guys know where I've been and just kind of chat with you and see how you've been too. I had a few requests on Instagram to recreate a look that I posted a couple of weeks ago, so I thought that I would film that for you guys. And I haven't done a video like this in a really long time on my channel, so if you like videos like this and you want me to do more, then just give it a thumbs up, or you can let me know in the comments. And yeah, let's go ahead and begin. So starting first with primer, I'm using the Tarte Clean Slate Poreless Primer, and I like this. I'm always trying to find products that last all day because it is so humid here, and I feel like as soon as I step outside, my makeup starts to melt off my face. So I like to use this primer. It also helps my makeup from settling into my pores. I don't like to use it on my nose though. I've found if I put it on my nose throughout the day, it starts to rub off on the sides of my nose. My foundation does. So I just put it on my cheeks and then on my forehead. And then I do a little bit on my chin. I have a new foundation that I've been using, and this is the Guerlain Tenue de Perfection, I think is how you say it, but I am in the shade number 3. I was at Epcot, so there's a story behind this because I've never heard of this foundation before, but I was at Epcot and there is the France Pavilion there, and they have a makeup counter, and it was towards the end of the day and I felt like my makeup was melting. Actually, it wasn't the end of the day. It was kind of in the middle of the day, but I just felt like I looked awful. So I went in and the lady that works there she was talking to me about I wanted a very long lasting foundation that had pretty good coverage. I do have some hyperpigmentation and stuff around my mouth that I like to cover. And I asked her about, what they had, and she told me about this foundation. So I had her put a little bit on me so I could test it out throughout the day first before buying it because it's kind of expensive. Oh, I'm going to put some lip balm on really fast because my lips feel chapped. This is the Coola SPF 30. Oh, can't get the lid off. But anyways, so so she put the foundation on and it has such a beautiful finish. It didn't sweat, it didn't crack around my mouth, which I normally have a problem with, and it didn't look too oily, but it wasn't too matte because I have combination skin, so I like more of a closer to matte finish, but not fully matte where I look like I have caked on makeup. So this has a really nice satin finish, and it moves and breathes with your skin, which I really like. And I don't, you can build it up and it's kind of like a buildable coverage, but I just like using this brush just to give a nice all over color, but not too much coverage. If I'm looking for a little bit more coverage, then I'll take my beauty blender and just kind of bounce it along, and that gives a little bit more coverage. But yeah, so I wore it throughout the day and it stayed on, and I knew that I needed to go and get it. I found out that Matt gets a discount because he's a cast member at the Guerlain counter in Epcot. So yeah, that's a little bit dangerous, and needless to say, I purchased the foundation and I love it. It does have a little bit of a fragrance, so if you're sensitive to fragrances, then keep that in mind. But I really like it, and the fragrance doesn't really linger throughout the day. It kind of just goes away after a while. Okay, for not foundation, this is concealer. I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape, and this is actually too light for me right now. I got light neutral, and I should have got light medium neutral. I picked up the wrong one, didn't realize it, but I'm gonna make it work somehow. I'm gonna have a little blemish here. I don't really like to use a concealer that's too light to cover blemishes, but that's all I have right now. And I'm just using my Beauty Blender sponge to blend that in. And I like to take this a little bit onto my eyelid as well. Okay. If my tongue is blue, that's because I'm drinking a smoothie, just so you know. And it has lots of blueberries and kale and banana, and I think that's it. But yeah, so I don't think my tongue is that blue yet. To set my concealer, I'm using the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder, and I use it's rubbed off on my brush, so I don't remember what brush this is, but I will link it down below if you're interested. This is my favorite brush for buffing in any type of setting powder if you use it on your for concealer, or just even like around your nose. It just fits really well, and it doesn't put too much product on so you don't look really cakey underneath. It's just a good brush. I've had it forever. To contour, I'm using the Milk Makeup Matte Bronzer. This melted in my car. I didn't even leave it in my car for very long, and it melted. So I'm using a brush to apply it, and it's kind of a mess. It's really gross, so I'm going to take it out of the little cap that came in and just put a little bit into my contours. And I'm using this Trish McEvoy, this is the Deluxe Blender brush. And then just doing a little bit onto my temples, up into my hairline. And then I'm going to go back through, obviously, and blend all of this out so I don't really like a very harsh contour. I just like something really subtle and natural. So I'm just blending this in, and then I'm also going to go a little bit underneath my chin and my jaw just to make that a little more defined. And I love this brush. I think this is the kind of like what they use, or what Trish McEvoy has for her foundation brush, one of them, and it just blends really well. The bristles hold up very, very nicely. I've had it forever, and it doesn't mess up or fall apart or get hairs all over your face. It doesn't shed, I guess is what I've tried to say. I'm using the Too Faced Chocolate Bronzer to set that. I like to use a cream product just because they look really nice and natural, but I like to also set with a powder so that it stays on. And to keep it from looking too shiny, because I do get oily throughout the day. And I might take a little bit of this on each side of my nose, a little bit underneath my nose, under my bottom lip, underneath my chin. I'm going to take a little bit of this Lima Pure, this is the Satin Matte Foundation. Where's my brush? I just put this on my T-zone, so I don't like to use this all over. I just kind of pack it on my T-zone, the areas where I get more oily, and then a little bit onto my chin. I don't like a very, very powdery look, and this foundation is pretty matte. It is more of like a satin finish, but it doesn't get oily throughout the day. And for blush, I'm using this Tarte Amazonian Clay blush called Party. I wear this blush all the time. This was a Sephora gift for my birthday. And this brush that I'm using is another Trish McEvoy brush. This is the Angled Contour number 65. I love these blushes though because they last so long. And I'm just gonna I'm gonna blend that in a little bit. I'm using the Anastasia Brow Wiz, and I like this, but I feel like I need something a little bit more, so I'm gonna get a brow gel eventually. There's a really loud bang outside, and my dog did not like that. So I'm just gonna go and fill in my brows and try to get my dog to stop barking, and I'll be right back. So, I'm back, finally. The sky fell out, and everything went dark. So I had to go and set up more lights, and yeah, this is Florida for you. So, where was I? Now I'm gonna put on some eyeshadow primer. This is the Too Faced Shadow Insurance. But yeah, all of a sudden when I started doing my brows, everything got really, really dark. And now it's raining. And I had to get my other light boxes. Ooh, got some on my nose. If you've ever visited Florida, you know that it rains pretty much every single day. There's just no way to get around it. Everywhere I go, I bring an umbrella, sometimes an extra pair of shoes, and always a hair tie, because when it rains, my hair likes to blow out. So I'm just using a powder brush. It has a little bit of the powder that I use to blend on my eyelids, just to kind of set the primer. I don't know, I don't like for it to be wet or sticky. Even though that's what it's supposed to do, I feel like it holds more when you just have an extra layer. Even though this doesn't have a ton of powder on, you saw I just used it to blend, but it still picked up a little bit of product. So I just put that on my lids. And then for an all over color, I'm using Supermom. I kind of go back and forth between these three here on the end. This is the Amazonian Clay matte palette, the Tartelette palette. I think I showed this in my favorites video from last month, but I'm just gonna go back and forth between Supermom and Free Spirit and put that all over the lid. I want to do something a little bit natural today. So I'm just going all over the lid and then all the way up underneath my brow bone. So I'm going to use the Tartist Pro To Go palette. This is just such a great palette. It's great for traveling because you can do so many different looks with it. And I'm going to use Drive, I think. Am I going to use Drive? Yeah. I'm going to use Drive and put that into my crease if I can find my brush. Here it is. Now that I have the lights on, I feel like I need to fill in my brows a little bit more, but okay. I'm not having a very good brow day. So I'm just going into the crease with this. Like I said, I wanted to make this look a little bit softer today. So if you notice, I kind of took a little bit of a break from uploading to my channel just for the beginning of this month. I guess pretty much this entire month. But I kind of wanted to do a revamp of my channel. I just wasn't really feeling inspired. And sometimes it's good to take a step back and reevaluate things. And I've also had a lot going on with trying to get my blog ready, which I'm so excited to share with you guys. It's been a long time coming. I actually had one in the works. I just kicked up some of that powder that got all in my mouth. But I actually had one in the works before going to IIN, to school. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then I went to the Institute for Integrative Nutrition to become a health coach. And I was working on a blog then, but they really wanted you to have a website for your health coaching. So because I had already purchased that domain name, I started using that for my health coaching website. But now I'm separating the two. And because I love writing, I love having a blog. A blog is how I got my start in the online space, I guess you could say. When I was in school in 2007 for fashion, I had a fashion blog called Style Frenzy. Now I'm going to use, in the same palette, I'm going to use Stylin and kind of just put that in the outer corner. And then a little bit into my crease still. But yeah, so I had the Style Frenzy blog, which I looked it up recently, and someone else is using that because I don't really know what happened to mine. I just kind of stopped doing it once I started working and got busy. But it was just a fun way for me to talk about what I was learning in school and keeping up with trends and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to having this kind of space again where I can share, and I think it'll be fun. My blending brush got wet from my smoothie. I guess my smoothie's like melting because it took me so long to set up my other lights. And my brush got in the water. So it's like smearing it instead of blending. That's nice. I'm not going to wear eyeliner. I just want to kind of keep this really soft. So I'm going to go back to the Tartelette the Tartelette eyeshadow, and I'm going to use this shade called Multitasker, which is a very deep brown, and it's kind of got more of a cooler undertone, so I'm going to use that for my liner. I'm going to use it with an angle brush. I'm just going to kind of stamp that along my lash line. You know what, I'm actually going to use this pencil brush instead. Sometimes I like to use this because it's very, very precise. When I'm using powder, I like to take the brush and kind of flick it up a little bit. It just kind of lifts the outer corner just a bit. I'm afraid I'm getting out of focus, so I'm going to do this in my mirror so I can see a little bit better, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I just kept lining my lashes, and I like to line with a powder on days when I want my makeup just to look a little bit softer, and yeah, I really like using a matte shadow for that. Now I'm going to take that same pencil and then line a little bit underneath my outer corner here. Just a little bit. And I'm doing that same flicking motion here up, just to kind of lift the outer corner. just a bit. But in the photo that I have on Instagram for the look that I'm recreating, I did use Hype on my lower lash line, right in the center into the inner corner, but I don't really want to go do that. I don't want to do that today. Now I'm just going to curl my lashes and apply my mascara. I'm going to use the Guerlain mascara. This is a newer purchase. I love the way it smells. It smells like roses, and I love anything that smells like roses, but it's not my favorite mascara. I think mascara is a very personal thing. Something that works for someone and they love it may not be the best for you or for me, but this one just smells so good and it feels very luxurious in this really pretty gold tube. But it does do a good job of lengthening and holding curl. I just would prefer a little bit more of a drier formula. I'm gonna let that dry and I'll probably go back with another coat. Now let's move on to lips. In the picture that I put up on Instagram, I had on the Kevyn Aucoin Flesh Tone Lip Pencil. This is in the shade Medium. I like this because it makes your lips look full, and it just is a good everyday color, and it kind of gives you a little bit of that contoured look. So I just use it on the middle and the center, and then I kind of blend it in with my finger and then on my Cupid's bow. So I'm not lining all of my lips, although you could, but because this is a more natural look, I'm just going to keep it a little more natural today. See, you can already tell a difference. For lipstick, this is another culprit of the Florida heat. It melted in my car, but this is one of my favorite lipsticks. I need to just get another one because this is making a mess. This is the Pacifica Tender Heart. It is such a gorgeous everyday color. It's very creamy and hydrating, and it smells like coconut. It smells so good. For gloss, I'm just going to put a little bit of the Smith & Colt High Speed Sonnet gloss on top. This is so pretty. You could even wear this on its own, which I do, but I'm putting this in the center just to add a little brightness. Okay, so I always like to save highlighter for last because it's like the grand finale for me. I love highlighting. So I'm using this Jouer Skinny Dip Powder Highlighter. I am in love with this. I ordered this, and I also ordered the lip topper sitting right there. I think it's in Saint-Tropez. It's beautiful. So I ordered both of those. I'm just going to use this Makeup Forever brush to apply it. I like it because it's very tapered, so it lays it on without being too heavy. And I'll do a little bit under my brow bone, along my cheek. It is so pretty. Look at that. Oh, I love it. And then I do a little bit here. So yeah, I guess that is everything now that my smoothie is nice and warm. That kind of did not taste good. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you would like to see more of these types of videos on my channel, then let me know in the comments. And let me go ahead. I guess I will take my hair down. I hope that you guys, sorry, my hair, now I'm taking it out and I regret taking it down. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you would like to see more videos like this on my channel, then let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for being patient with me while I've been gone for the past few weeks, but I am back now and I'm going to start uploading more often. If you saw my vlog, then you know I talked about that a little bit more over there. I'll link it down below if you missed it, but I hope that you guys have been doing well. Let me know how you've been in the comments. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!